Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. So, Stefan knows the DNA results, and he tells EJ, "Hey, listen, I know that Jude isn't yours, and I know that that child is Eric's." And at first, he tries to play it off. He's like, "Oh, what are you talking about? They just, that somebody was just playing a cruel joke or whatever." So of course, Stefan was like, "Okay, cool. How about we just sit there and just call Nicole, and we'll just get this whole thing straightened out." So he has him at this point, right? And what he wants is he wants Gabby to go free. He wants EJ to do it. But EJ's like, "I lost my job." Now it's funny because one of my subscribers was like, if only Stefan would have found that out sooner when he was the DA. Because then he just would have, and Gabby would have been eventually released. But now he wants him to get his job back and then be able to get Gabby free. And I'm kind of just like, you don't think that's a little bit of a stretch? Like, seriously, you don't think that's a little bit of a stretch? Because he has to find a way to get back his job and take it back from Melinda. And right now, I honestly tell you, if I was EJ, I'd be like, you know what? Why don't you do it? Because it's a very uphill battle. Even because towards the end, he does go to Paulina's place. He's like, listen, I'm willing to drop the recount and everything like that for a favor. So even if he does, you know, tries to, bargain with that, she's not just going to sit there and just fire Melinda, put him back in charge. Given how he's been acting, what incentive will she have? I mean, seriously, she's better off. Here's the thing: she's better off fighting the recount than she would be to sit there and deal with EJ at that point. So I don't know. I feel like at this point that Stefan is just asking for too much. I guess we'll see. Um, there's a point where Alex and Teresa are talking, and Alex is like, I just don't really understand Constantine. He was just so personal with you. He was all like, you've been a thorn in his side the moment that he got there and everything like that. Like, what was that about? Why was he so personal with you? And of course, Teresa says something stupid like, oh, well, I just, I invoke that type of strong emotion in men. I'm like, the only emotion that you're actually invoking in me is annoyance. I regret. Well, I want to sit there and say I regret. I feel like I suffer through nearly every scene that is Teresa. And I heard she's leaving. So I am, at this point, literally counting down the days. Um, they're just so difficult to get through. Now, there's a point where after Tate is talking to Brady, and he pretty much kind of finds out that um, Brady wants Teresa, and she's kind of like playing him and playing his emotions and everything like that. Brady heads to the pub, assuming that Tate is going to meet him there. Holly's there, so they get to talking. They're about to kiss, and then Teresa comes in, and Teresa just has like the nastiest attitude. Like, okay, here's the thing: I get what Holly did, right? I get that. The jail thing. The point is, I get it. She set a lot of stuff in motion that caused him to go through all this stuff, and yeah, including the whole him going to jail and getting beat up and everything like that. But she did apologize, and she was able to clear stuff up. And my whole thing is, Teresa, you acting like you were this innocent angel when you were her age. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying like you got to be like super friendly, but like the nasty attitude, I'm over it at this point. I am really over it. So, Polly leaves, and Tate goes in on her because he's like, she's like, oh, she's not good enough for you, and she's just gonna hurt you. And Tate's like, oh, you mean the same thing that you're doing with Dad? And brings up the fact that he has feelings for her, and what she's doing is hurting him as well. So you're pretty much just being a damn hypocrite at that point. Not to mention, even before that, she used him just to get Alex jealous. So it's like, bro, again, you're not exactly in a position to really be spouting off anything at this point. You're really not. Um, so he lays into her, and she says some things afterwards. I'm just like, yeah, whatever, Teresa. I'm just, like I said, I'm just counting the days. I don't really understand Nicole. Okay, I haven't understand Nicole for a very long time. Um, there's a certain level of dingbatness that I just don't get with her. Like, she took her child to work, and she's like, well, Eric comes in and Eric sees Jude, and she's like, oh, I didn't think you were still going to be here. I thought you were going to be done for the day. I'm like, just on the off chance that he was there, you shouldn't have did that. You have a damn sitter, and I understand that she wants to be close to him, but like, you didn't even sit there and think about the possibility that you would run into him. It's staggering just how dumb she is. Like, there's no other way to sit there and put it. Eric does ask her to help with the article. Um, after she found that the EJ is representing Eric because reasons. I know there's a reason for it, but it's a pretty flimsy and stupid reason. Um, so he has some stuff typed up or whatever, and she's like, "No, I got to sit there and make it fun and make it interesting." I was like, "You really don't. You really don't. I get you want to take shots at her, but you really don't." So they spend a couple of minutes to sit there and do this, I guess, laughable, humorous thing or whatever. I guess they want to probably put some levity or humor into it, but it escaped me. Hell, actually, tell you the truth, anytime they actually have Nicole and Eric, whatever humor that they do, it just kind of just falls flat for me. No, what the hell is this thing? Going back to Pauline before EJ showed up, she decided to write to the invader, not the invader, the spectator. Invaders, okay, spectator. And Abe was like, "Was that a good idea?" Because she wanted to write a response letter back, and I'm like, it probably wasn't a good idea because usually people have PR people to look over that stuff before you just send it out because people tend to take things the wrong way on any given day, and you're in a position of power. You don't want to mess this letter up, and it's not like you don't have Stephanie on retainer. You couldn't sit there and wait until the morning or wait until a couple of days before Stephanie got a chance to look at it before you sent the letter. So it didn't really make a lot of sense. It really didn't. Um, I also think it's kind of stupid and a conflict of interest for Stephanie to represent the newspaper and her at the same time. That's literally the definition of conflict of interest. It's like, no, what are you talking about? I'm going to be professional. I'm going to be fine. Like, well, we're not questioning your integrity, but you're supposed to be defending the paper, but you're also supposed to be defending Paulina. So how do you do both? Um, they talk about Juneteenth. They talk about Lonnie getting out. Because Lonnie and Eli is coming this week for anyone that actually cares. I mean, I don't hate them. It's just when I started watching the show, they didn't have any problems, any drama, anything to make them interesting. The area was just kind of just set, which is fine, but it didn't really do much for me. Um, he talks about how he got his memories back. I was like, yeah, that way of them just finding the easiest way possible of just making sure that you had your memories back, and Paulina being cancer free. and it not being a spit in anyone's face. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That story, the way they wrapped that up, still bothers me to this day. Um, Eric is talking to Brady. Nothing too interesting. It's just playing catch up at this point. There's a point that Nicole comes back and you know, Stefan just went there watching them squirm or whatever. While he says little things here or there, he takes like the envelope, smacks him in the face, which was actually kind of funny. Um, when they do humor right, it works. They do humor right, it works. Um, and he didn't sit there and talk about just how careless that was. That EJ actually left that paper in the safe where everyone uses it. Everyone uses it. You didn't think of, I don't know, a bank or something? I remember one of my subscribers was like, he should have got like a safety deposit box or something. He just puts it in the family safe where everyone uses it. Oh, actually, to tell you the truth, it was stupid for Kristen to put that in the safe as well, because everyone uses it. Oh my goodness. Alex has a so-called powwow with Brady to clear their air, and Brady's like, "Hey, listen, it's fine, it's cool. You're actually doing me a favor. Me and her don't work out anyway." And again, I'm just like, what is drawing you to her now? When she first came to town, you didn't want no parts of her. And so, honestly, tells you now I think about it, part of me is just like, yeah, I get that she used you and stuff like that, but like, part of me is just like, when you wanted her, I mean, when she wanted you, you weren't there. It's almost kind of like the Kate and Bill situation, except for Bill didn't use her and then decided to just throw her away to make somebody else jealous. But in a sense, it's like, bro, you don't get to sit there and start whining and complain that you want her now when she wanted you in the beginning, and you literally kicked her out of your room when y'all got degrees. So, bro, you can miss me with that. Anyway, I feel like that's about it. I can't think of anything else. So what I would sit there and say is come to the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll sit there and talk about all the shows. General Hospital, Days of Our Lives, Bold and Beautiful, Young and Restless. With that being said, I'm going to go. I'll see you in the next video.